You cried at a commercial last week. An actual commercial. For insurance. But 6 months ago, when something genuinely devastating happened, you sat there. Completely still. Nothing. Like the feeling just didn't show up for work. Here's the paradox nobody explains to you. The same brain that turns a paper cut into agony can also go completely numb during an actual crisis. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you why those two things, feeling too much and feeling nothing at all, are actually the exact same mechanism. Just running out of road. Welcome to Cognitive Lab, where we decode the hidden bugs in human psychology. This one's a bonus drop in our Invisible People series. The freeze response, talking to yourself, needing solitude. Today we're looking at the thing underneath all three of them. Why some brains just turn the volume up on everything. Here's what people assume when you feel things this hard: that you're being dramatic, too sensitive, that you need to toughen up, or stop taking things so personally. If toughening up worked, you'd have done it already. You've tried. That's not the problem. Here's the actual mechanism. Your nervous system isn't choosing to overreact. It's running a fundamentally different level of sensory processing than the brain sitting next to you. In 2014, neuroscientist Bianca Acevedo ran fMRI scans on people identified as highly sensitive while they viewed images of other people's emotional expressions. The brain regions tied to awareness, integration, and empathy, the insula, the mirror neuron system, lit up significantly harder than in the control group. Same image. Same 3 seconds on screen. A completely different amount of neurological electricity spent processing it. You're not overreacting to the input. You're accurately reacting to a bigger input. Your dial just runs higher than the average one. And here's where most people get the metaphor wrong. This isn't a broken volume knob. Think of it more like a mixing board with no limiter on it. Most brains have a compressor built in, something that catches the peak, softens it before it hits you full force. Your brain skips that step. The raw signal goes straight through. Full volume, first take, every time. And here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. This isn't a flaw evolution forgot to fix. It's a strategy evolution kept on purpose. Psychologists Belsky and Pluess call it differential susceptibility, the Orchid and Dandelion theory. Most people are dandelions. Resilient, low maintenance, they grow fine pretty much anywhere. A smaller percentage are orchids, high cost, high reward. In a bad environment, they suffer more than anyone. But in a good one, they don't just do fine. They outperform everyone else. Nature doesn't build a whole population of one type. It hedges its bet. Keeps a percentage of brains running high sensitivity, because when the conditions are right, that's the brain that notices the threat first, reads the room first, catches what everyone else missed. You're not a defective dandelion. You were never supposed to be one. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not that sensitive. I don't cry at commercials every week. Sometimes I don't feel much of anything. Here's the twist. Read that again, because this is the part that actually answers the paradox from the beginning of this video. A system that runs at full volume constantly doesn't stay at full volume forever. It trips a breaker. When emotional input keeps coming in at maximum intensity, with no compressor and no rest, your nervous system does the only thing left available to it. It shuts the channel down completely. That numbness during the real crisis? That wasn't you being cold. That was the same overloaded system from the freeze episode, the one further down this cluster, finally hitting its limit and cutting the feed. Too much, then nothing. Same brain. Same mechanism. Just further along the curve. And here's the actual cost of leaving this unmanaged. It's not just exhaustion. Chronic overactivation like this is linked to higher rates of anxiety and burnout, because your baseline stress hormones never get the chance to fully reset between hits. You're not just tired at the end of the day. You're tired from a day most brains didn't even register as hard. If you know someone who cried at a wedding toast for a stranger and then went completely blank during their own bad news, send them this. They've probably never heard anyone explain why both of those are the same person. 3 tools. Not just breathe. Actual mechanisms. 1. Name the wave out loud or in writing the second it starts. Not, I'm fine. The actual word. This is grief. This is overwhelm. UCLA researcher Matthew Lieberman found that simply putting a precise word to an emotion measurably reduces amygdala activity in real time. Labeling isn't a coping cliché. It's a documented dimmer switch. 2. Give the wave somewhere to go physically. Overwhelm that stays trapped in your body doesn't process, it just loops. Cold water on your wrists. A hard walk. Pressing your palms together and pushing for 10 seconds. You're not calming down, you're discharging voltage that has to go somewhere. 3. Build a recovery buffer before the wave hits, not after. If you know a high-stimulation event is coming, a family dinner, a big meeting, block 15 minutes of total quiet on either side of it. Same restorative niche idea from the solitude episode. You're not being high maintenance. You're managing a system with a bigger draw than most. Here's what I need you to sit with for a second. You were never too much. You were never broken or dramatic or weak for feeling things at a volume other people don't understand. Your system just processes reality with less padding between you and it. That's the same brain that goes quiet under pressure, talks itself through a hard day out loud, needs a locked door and an hour of silence to function. It's not 4 separate problems. It's one nervous system, working overtime, trying to keep you safe with the tools it's got. Drop a comment. Tell me the last thing that hit you way harder than it should have. I read every single one. If this is the first video of ours you've watched, go back and start with, why does your brain freeze during stress? It's where this whole thing starts making sense. Subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.